especially if I look cuter than any girl does. Like, what's the problem? Like, what's the issue? And I'm out all the time, you know, and like I'm killing a dress and no one else is. Like, the girls in the room are not doing it. Like, they don't look.
You believe that isn't how you want to run your family. I have no choice but to respect that. But don't pretend as if it isn't an unpopular sentiment.
Percentage of Hollywood kids are trans. Like, how many celebrities have trans kids? It's new. It's not a thing that was going on just a few. It was rare in the past.
So DL Hughley just went off on Magic Johnson's son, EJ, and it's getting messy fast. In case you missed it, EJ has been catching serious backlash for weeks after saying he looks better than every woman in the room, and also making it clear he won't date gay men. That combo alone had people side-eyeing hard, and now it feels like everyone's got something to say. Women are calling him out left and right, gay influencers are speaking up too, and now DL jumped in with his own sharp take, questioning why so many Hollywood kids are coming out as trans and asking if it's a coincidence or something deeper going on. That comment alone stirred up even more tension and got people debating heavy online. This whole situation kicked off last month when E.J. Johnson sat down with Carlos King for an interview that instantly grabbed attention, but not in a good way. During the convo, EJ dropped several statements that had social media buzzing non-stop. One of the biggest moments came when EJ revealed he asked his parents, Magic and Cookie, to stop using he, man, and even the word son, which really got people talking.
Even I told them on my birthday in June that I was like, we're not doing he, we're not doing man, we're not doing gay. Like, and it was very freeing. You know, even like son. I was like, you know, the world tried to give me that label, like Magic Johnson's son. And I was like, well, he's dead. And now there isn't this thing. Like, we're not doing.
EJ explained that he prefers people to use they or she pronouns when referring to him, making it clear that's what feels right on a personal level. But here's where things started getting confusing for a lot of people. EJ also said he is not transitioning into a woman and does not want to be labeled as a trans woman. During that same interview, EJ doubled down on his dating preferences and made it very clear he does not date gay men. He openly said he's attracted to straight men or men with strong masculine energy, and that statement had people reacting fast and loud across social media. But then things got even more intense when EJ confidently said that no matter what room he walks into, he looks better than every woman there. That line alone had people pausing like, wait, what? It didn't sit right with a lot of listeners and quickly became one of the most talked about moments from the interview. Here's why so many people are calling it out. Critics feel like EJ is embracing the style, the fashion, and the expression tied to femininity, while also using pronouns like they or she, but at the same time not identifying as a woman. That contrast has people confused, and some feel the comment about looking better than women came off disrespectful and unnecessary.
Are there pronouns that you go by today, or how do you identify your sexuality?
I just say call me EJ as much as possible. Okay. You know, it's like pronouns I don't really like he. You know, they is fine, you know, whatever. She is cool. Like, I'm really not a stickler about it.
Yeah.
They'll keep saying man or bro too many times, and I'm like, I'm not your bro. Like, you know, but it's usually just somebody you're never going to see again, so who cares?
Others also pointed out that EJ lives a very unique lifestyle, being Magic Johnson's child and having access to luxury fashion and major platforms. While presenting a bold and feminine image, some argue it's different from the everyday experiences many women face, like inequality at work or dealing with unfair treatment. That's why this whole situation has people debating hard online, with strong opinions coming from every direction. And the way EJ came across to some people was basically like, I can do this better than you, but don't call me a woman. And that's where the tension really exploded. For a lot of critics, it started to feel like femininity was being treated like something you can just put on and take off whenever it's convenient. They feel like EJ is embracing the glam, the clothes, the makeup, the spotlight, but stepping away from the deeper identity and struggles that many women talk about every day.
Then, when you add in that bold claim about looking better than women while also not identifying as one, it rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. Some critics didn't hold back at all, saying the whole vibe came off disrespectful, and the internet wasted no time jumping into the conversation with strong opinions flying everywhere. On X, one user wrote, "The way y'all don't say nothing when gay men ish on women daily, but want people to watch their tone about a Bigfoot, oversized crossdresser."
Feminine being, and like, you know, that's really all that matters to me. You know, it's like I'm extremely happy in this body. Like I love my skin. I love waking up and being me every day. Like it's a beautiful thing. Like to walk into the, you know, bathroom and see yourself in the mirror and you're just like, that bitch, like, yes, like it's that for me, right?
Another person added, "Nah, cause gay men are highly disrespectful towards women and it's not discussed enough." And someone else came in even hotter saying, "He's so effing delusional, it's not even funny." No, sir, you don't look better than any woman in a skirt. You big 6'4". He not even passing for a trans. The reactions were loud, unfiltered, and non-stop. And it wasn't just women speaking out either. Even people within the queer community started speaking out, making it clear they weren't backing EJ on this one. Popular gay influencer Landon Romano called EJ out directly, accusing him of competing with women and even labeling him delusional for claiming he's always the best-looking person in the room. Then Bobby Lights, a well-known reality star, jumped in and took aim at EJ's overall vibe, saying his style comes off like a Republican white woman. He didn't stop there either. Bobby wrote, "No, girl, the reason you feel unaccepted in the gay community is because you walk around thinking you are a Republican white woman in her mid-40s with a vegan, gluten-free chip on your shoulder." That comment alone had people gasping and reacting all over the place. But that's not the only perspective stirring things up, because voices like DL Hughley and Cat Williams are also stepping into the conversation, adding even more heat to an already explosive situation. Now this is where the conversation takes another turn, because figures like DL Hughley and Cat Williams have been openly questioning why there seems to be a growing number of celebrity children who identify as trans or gender non-conforming. That perspective has sparked a whole separate debate, with people paying close attention to patterns in Hollywood families. For example, Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union have shared that their child Zaya expressed her identity at a very young age.
I don't attract gay men, and I'm not attracted to gay men. But no, to be honest, it's like that's why I don't go to gay clubs. I don't go to, you know, gay things, because it's like the men that I attract are not there. I do that when I go to the straight rooms.
So has it always been that way for you in terms of when it comes to men?
Marlon Wayans also went public in 2023 about his child's transition, showing support while adjusting as a parent. Eddie Murphy is another name that comes up in these discussions, with his child also living openly. Then you've got other major names people keep bringing into the conversation. Elon Musk, Robert De Niro, Jamie Lee Curtis, and Charlize Theron, all parents to transgender children. On top of that, Angelina Jolie's child, Shiloh, and one of Megan Fox's children have been described as gender non-conforming, while in the music world, Cher has a transgender son, and Jennifer Lopez's child, Emmy, identifies as non-binary. All of this keeps the discussion loud, layered, and constantly evolving.
And just recently, Jennifer Garner and Ben Affleck's child, Finn, formerly known as Serafina, was also reported as identifying as non-binary, which only added more attention to this ongoing conversation. With so many high-profile families being mentioned, people online have started throwing around all kinds of theories trying to make sense of it. One theory claims these celebrity kids grew up in extremely sheltered, almost perfect environments where everything felt controlled and protected. Then when puberty hits and real life starts getting more complicated, some people argue it can feel overwhelming, leading to big identity shifts as a way to cope with those changes. Another idea people debate is something called social contagion, where kids and tight friend groups influence each other. The claim is that when one person opens up about their identity, others in the same circle may feel more comfortable exploring their own.
It's been what some people consider the straight guy always being the one that would approach you.
Or somebody who, has been intimate and dating, women for most of their life, or like up until then, for sure. Absolutely. It has always been that way, but now it's like even more so. Now that I definitely present in more of a feminine way. Because also, like, it's like my energy.
But critics argue this turns it into more of a group dynamic than an individual journey. Then there's a more critical angle. where some say growing up around fame, pressure, or emotionally distant environments could play a role, and that identity shifts might be tied to seeking understanding or visibility. These takes are highly debated, and not everyone agrees, but they continue to spread fast and keep the conversation heated across social media. Some people online take it even further, arguing that privilege plays a role in all of this. They claim that kids growing up in wealthy or highly visible families may feel pressure around identity, and that identifying as trans or non-binary can sometimes be seen by critics as a way to connect with something more grounded or meaningful. Others push back hard on that idea, saying it oversimplifies very personal experiences. Another argument floating around is that attention plays a big part. Critics say some of these kids may not have the same talents or spotlight as their famous parents, and when they come out, the sudden wave of praise, being called brave or stunning, can feel powerful and hard to ignore. Still, many people strongly disagree with reducing identity to attention alone, and that debate gets intense fast. DL Hughley, for example, pointed directly at parenting, questioning how a young child could fully understand gender identity at such an early age. Speaking on Dwayne Wade's family, he challenged the idea that a child could know something like that at age 3 without outside influence. He also criticized decisions around medical care for minors, arguing that such choices should be approached with extreme caution. Those comments added even more fire to an already heated and deeply divided conversation. DL didn't stop there either. He kept pushing the conversation into even more controversial territory. He questioned whether Hollywood as a whole is influencing how these situations play out, suggesting that celebrity culture might be shaping decisions behind the scenes in ways people don't fully see. That take immediately split audiences, with some agreeing and others calling it a reach. At the same time, a lot of people push back hard, saying these conversations are way more personal than what outsiders can judge from interviews and headlines. Supporters argue that every family is different, and these decisions come from years of private discussions, not just sudden trends or outside pressure.
I was a kid and they were like, well, you can't wear skirts. And I was like, well, why not? It's like my inner being was like, there's nothing wrong with this, especially if I look cuter than any girl does. Like, what's the problem? Like, what's the issue? And that's exactly how I apply it to myself these days in the way that I present, like in my feminine regalia. I've always been a feminine being, and like that's just like how I best express myself. But I'm like, listen, I'm out all the time, and like I'm killing a dress and no one else is. Like the girls in the room are not doing it. Like they don't look cute. They're not dressed to any nines. So
what really stands out is how fast this whole situation has escalated. What started as comments from EJ turned into a massive debate involving identity, parenting, fame, and culture all at once. Now you've got comedians, influencers, celebrities, and everyday people all jumping in with strong opinions, and nobody seems to be backing down. And with voices getting louder on each side, this doesn't look like it's cooling off anytime soon. If anything, it's only getting more intense. Now, with all this noise building up, people are starting to look back at EJ's original comments in a whole new light. What might have sounded like confidence at first is now being picked apart line by line, with critics saying it came off more arrogant than empowering. That "I look better than every woman in the room" statement especially keeps getting brought up, and it's not dying down anytime soon. At the same time, others are defending EJ, saying he's simply expressing himself and living unapologetically. They argue that confidence shouldn't automatically be turned into controversy, and that people are reading too deep into statements that were meant to be bold and expressive. But let's be real, the mix of identity, celebrity status, and strong opinions is exactly what keeps this story blowing up. Every new reaction adds another layer, and now it's not just about EJ anymore. It's about bigger conversations around gender, respect, and how far self-expression can go before it starts stepping on other people. And with social media watching every move, one thing is clear. This situation is still unfolding, and people are locked in, waiting to see what gets said next. And now, people are starting to ask the big question: does EJ respond or just let all this noise keep building? Because at this point, the silence is getting just as much attention as the original comments. Some are saying staying quiet is the smartest move, while others think addressing it head-on could either clear things up or make it even messier. Meanwhile, the internet isn't slowing down at all. Clips from the interview keep circulating, reaction videos are stacking up, and everyone seems to have a take they're ready to defend.
Said he is the baddest in the room. He's better than any other female in the room. Well, yes, if the room is empty. Listen, EJ, I don't understand why the LGBTQ community is always trying to be in competition with women. Women is not in competition with us, especially if you up there trying to be a woman. You in woman's clothes, you in a dress, and that's cool. Express yourself how you want to, but why are you trying to bring down the next? You better than them. Anybody with two sets of eyes know that's not true. I don't know what land of delusion you reside in, but you best check the mailbox. The brochure said false advertisement. That is not true. That is incorrect. Okay.
It's like every few hours there's a new angle, a new opinion, or someone else jumping into the conversation trying to break it all down. What makes this even more intense is how divided people are. You've got one side calling out EJ's words as disrespectful, while another side is defending his right to express himself however he wants. There's no middle ground right now. It's loud, it's chaotic, and it's turning into one of those moments people won't stop talking about anytime soon. At this point, the whole situation has grown way bigger than just one interview. It's turned into a full-blown cultural debate. People aren't just arguing about EJ anymore. They're going back and forth over identity, respect, boundaries, and what self-expression should actually look like in today's world.
Some are saying this moment shows how complicated these conversations have become, especially when fame is involved. When you mix celebrity status with personal identity, every word gets amplified, every opinion gets dissected, and every reaction turns into another headline. Others feel like this is exactly why these discussions need more care, more understanding, and less instant judgment. But let's be honest, the internet doesn't really slow down for nuance, and that's why things keep escalating so fast. One thing is clear though, this situation has people watching closely, debating loudly, and choosing sides in real time. And with so many voices still jumping in, this story isn't fading out quietly anytime soon. It's staying right in the spotlight. And now, all eyes are on what happens next, because this story could flip at any moment. If EJ decides to speak out, it could either calm things down or send everything into overdrive again. People are waiting to see if there's going to be a clarification, an apology, or maybe even more bold statements that keep the pressure going. At the same time, the bigger conversation isn't going anywhere. This situation has already opened the door to ongoing debates about identity, celebrity influence, and how public figures communicate in a world where every word gets analyzed instantly.
He's the one who sat down with us as a family and said, hey, I don't think I'm gay, right? I identify myself as a young lady, but she's known that for 9 years.
She knows since she was 3.
She's known since she was 3 years old. This is her life. This is no game to us. We're about protecting her heart. We're about protecting her joy. To do that, we have to support. We see the smile on our daughter's face. We see the confidence that she's able to walk around and be herself. And that's when you know you don't.
What's wild is how fast one interview turned into a viral storm that pulled in comedians, influencers, and major celebrities all at once. Now, it's not just about what was said, it's about how people interpret it, react to it, and use it to push their own viewpoints. And with the spotlight still locked in, one thing's for sure, this isn't wrapping up quietly, and the next move could change everything. And as this keeps unfolding, people are starting to wonder what this means long-term for EJ's public image. Because moments like this don't just disappear, they stick, they get replayed, and they shape how audiences see you moving forward. Every clip, every quote, every reaction is adding to that perception in real time. Some believe EJ could come out of this even more talked about than before, turning all the attention into momentum. Others think the backlash might follow him for a while, especially with how strong the reactions have been from multiple sides. At the same time, this whole situation is a reminder of how fast things can shift in the spotlight. One interview, one set of comments, and suddenly it turns into a non-stop cycle of debates, reactions, and viral moments. Right now, it's all still playing out, and people are locked in, watching closely to see how this story evolves next. Because clearly, it's not over yet.
And honestly, this whole situation shows just how quickly things can spiral when bold statements meet a massive audience. One moment turns into a headline, then into a debate, and before you know it, it's everywhere with people adding their own takes non-stop.
What started with EJ's comments has now turned into something way bigger, pulling in conversations about identity, respect, celebrity culture, and who gets to define what. Everyone seems to be speaking at once, and the lines between opinion, criticism, and support are getting more blurred by the second. At the same time, this kind of attention can shift things in unpredictable ways. Sometimes it fades out, and other times it sticks around and reshapes how people are viewed for a long time. Right now, it's still unfolding in real time, and people are watching every move, every reaction, and every possible response. One thing is certain though, this isn't just another quick moment online. It's the kind of story that keeps people talking long after the headlines slow down. And even now, the conversation isn't slowing down. It's actually evolving into something even bigger. People are no longer just reacting to what was said. They're breaking it down, analyzing every angle, and turning it into full-on discussions across platforms. You've got some doubling down on their criticism, others defending EJ louder than before, and a whole group of people just trying to make sense of it all.
You're not grown till you leave my house. You're not if you're still going to a pediatrician, if you need my permission to go to a movie, then I'm going to have a say in what happens. If you believe that isn't how you want to run your family, I have no choice but to respect that. But don't pretend as if it isn't an unpopular sentiment.
Every new post, every reaction clip, every opinion adds another layer, and it keeps this story alive in a major way. What really stands out is how this moment reflects the power of viral attention. One statement can spark millions of reactions, and once it catches fire, there's no controlling where it goes next. At this point, it's clear this situation is taking on a life of its own, and with so many voices still jumping in, the spotlight isn't going anywhere anytime soon. It's locked in, and the conversation is far from over. And now, people are starting to zoom out and look at the bigger picture, asking what this really says about celebrity culture as a whole. Because this isn't just about one person anymore. It's about how fast celebrity figures can become the center of massive debates over a few statements. Some are saying this is the price of fame. Every word gets picked apart, every opinion gets challenged, and there's no room for mistakes without facing serious backlash. Others argue that the internet sometimes takes things too far, turning one moment into a never-ending cycle of criticism. At the same time, this situation highlights how powerful social media really is. It can take a single interview and turn it into a global conversation overnight, with millions of people watching, reacting, and choosing sides instantly. And as all of this keeps unfolding, one thing is clear: the spotlight on EJ hasn't dimmed at all. If anything, it's shining even brighter, and the conversation around this situation is still going strong with no signs of stopping anytime soon.
And at this point, people aren't just reacting, they're choosing sides and standing on it loud. You've got one group that feels EJ crossed a line with those comments, and another group that believes he's just being bold and unapologetic in how he expresses himself. What's making this even more intense is how personal the debate has become. It's not just about what was said anymore. It's about how people interpret identity, respect, and where the line should be drawn. That's why the reactions feel so strong, because everyone is bringing their own perspective into it. Meanwhile, the clips and hot takes keep spreading like crazy, pulling more people into the conversation every single day. It's like the situation keeps refreshing itself, with new voices jumping in and keeping the momentum alive. Right now, this isn't cooling off at all. It's still active, still trending, and still pulling attention from every direction. And now, people are starting to ask whether this moment is going to follow EJ long-term or fade out like so many viral controversies do. Because sometimes the internet moves on fast, but other times it holds on to certain clips and narratives, replaying them over and over again. Some are saying this could stick, especially with how many different groups have weighed in and how strong the reactions have been. Others think a new headline will eventually take over and shift the spotlight somewhere else. But what's clear is that this situation has already left an impact. It sparked conversations across multiple communities, pulled in major voices, and turned a single interview into a much bigger cultural moment. And with everything still circulating, people are watching closely to see what happens next, because whether it fades or explodes again, this story has already made its mark in a big way. And then you've got voices like Cat Williams taking things even further, throwing out claims that the reason so many celebrities have trans or gender non-conforming children is tied to something deeper, even suggesting it's connected to fame,
power and what people are willing to do to maintain it. That perspective has definitely raised eyebrows and added even more controversy to an already heated conversation. But now it's time to turn it over to you, because this whole situation has a lot of layers. How do you feel about EJ saying he looks better than any woman? Do you think that confidence crossed the line, or are people overreacting? And what about all these theories surrounding Hollywood families? Do you think it's all just visibility and coincidence, or is there something bigger going on behind the scenes? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'm really trying to see where everyone stands on this. And if you made it this far, make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video so more people can join the conversation. Stay tuned, because the next breakdown is coming soon, and you don't want to miss it.